Hey guys, so we're doing a reading between Gemini and Aries. So this is a general reading, so some of it may apply, none of it may apply, all of it may apply, and also I think that Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars could be checked. I've just found that other readers can get like my Mars, so some readers will get my Rising, some will get my Sun. That's part of why I kind of just like doing pick a deck readings on here instead of going through the zodiac, but I do like to do these here and there. But we're doing a relationship type of reading today with these two. And I've already gotten into the energy here a little bit, and it feels very loving with like a little bit of tension. Like when I got into the Aries side, it's like, okay, how do you feel about Gemini? I just heard that's my girl. Like now, if you're a Gemini, you're not a girl. Like that could just, I'm just getting more of a sense of pride, showing you off, like um, type of thing with the relationship more than like that important phrase, but that phrase you could be hearing that. But maybe they like to show you off with their friends, family. Maybe they show you off on social media, like just kind of a pride of being with you. Like they're happy to be with you. It's not just like prideful to be with you, but they're also happy. Like that's part of the showing off thing. And I know some people are like, oh, they're trying to possess me. So I just want to clarify that when I said that, I felt like Gemini's heart just kind of skipped a beat and was happy about it. So I don't think anybody in this situation would be upset that they're saying things like this, that they're showing you off and all that. So, but I will say on the Gemini side, when I was feeling into it, like separate from this one, because I do have to say, like, Gemini felt very loving, but then I heard a excuse me, and then it went back to loving. So I'm like, does Aries think they're funny? Like, are they doing that thing where they like to lovingly poke people that they're close to as a show of affection, and sometimes like get under Gemini's skin? Is that what's going on? I don't know. So we're going to draw cards and see what this is about. So let's go ahead and pause and let me get some cards for the energy in between. Set pause. Okay, so we have the full strength and the King of Cups. I got the King of Cups because I'm like, okay, there's clearly this is something like changing, like a new adventure for you guys. And it's funny because like the Queen of Cups, King of Cups, and Queen of Cups came out. Oh, Queen of Coins, King of Coins, Queen of Cups came out. I'm sorry, I think I have different things I want to say right now. So I think part of this with that King of Cups popping out and all these matches here, I think you guys are matching energy here, and you're both not afraid to say what you want and how you want it, and but you're also open to collaboration and working together because you know it's not all about you, but you're also not going to be ran over. It's kind of like this energy, like we can work together and we can be a team, or you can get off my ship type of thing. And I think this is a new energy for both of you, and you're trying to be more sympathetic to the other situation while also being sympathetic to yourself, like having that balanced energy. Um, and there is a new, I just feel like this is a new approach for both of you trying to figure this out, trying to understand, okay, like I got to make sure I get what I want, but I also have to be fair to them. So one of you may have been really selfish, the other one may have been really selfless, or both of you could have been on either side of that spectrum and just kind of understanding that you need to approach relationships in a different way. I kind of see you both um, coming to a point of realizing that this is something that you really want, and like this is something that you have to work towards. And with all these changes, this is something that isn't quite like a reality yet. like you guys are together, it feels like, but where you want to be isn't quite there yet. You're still working on maybe how to work together with each other, but with all these matches, I think there's a good emotional connection. Like practically, it just works. Um, like you guys may be very supportive of each other. You guys can always count on each other type of energy. Maybe a very fiery type of connection. Um, and there's also just this understanding that neither one of you are going to stay if you're both not going to put in the effort type of energy going on here. Like you're both done putting up with bullshit. So I don't know if one of you were, like I said, one of you could have been really selfish and one of you could have been really selfless, but, or both of you could have been one side or the other, but it just really seems like you're both gotten to the point of like, okay, things haven't worked out for a reason. I need a new approach to relationships. We're trying it here. And it kind of seems like you guys are on a similar frequency of trying to make things work. So I kind of just want to throw something out there because, you know, you're watching a reading for like advice and stuff, right? Um, so one of the things I've gone to therapy for is like communication because that's one of the reasons like a major relationship of mine failed. I got a divorce because of that. So one of the things I learned is a thing called nonviolent communication, and through that you don't blame or criticize or judge the other person. Take um, you take responsibility for your feelings and you say what you need and what you would like and all that. If you look it up on Google, there's basically like a mapping outline of how the conversation could go from like you saying what you need and all that in them, and then their how they can respond and all that to help you guys set up this communication if you want help with that, because it really does seem like you're both trying to have a better approach to everything. Um, in case you want me to throw out signs, because like this could have been inspired by relationships with past exes that just went really bad. Um, the signs that I see here are Aquarius, Leo, Pisces, Cancer, Capricorn, Virgo. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into which one do we want to do first? I think Aries wants to speak first, so we're gonna do Aries first. Before I get into Aries, some of you guys might want to see the cards, and the sun's kind of outshining. So the Star was in that, the Three of Coins, the High Priestess, the Six of Wands. I think I already showed the King and Queen of Coins. Um, so the Queen of Cups, the Page of Wands, the King of Wands, the Strength card, and the Fool. Okay, so get into Aries side. So I feel like this is just kind of like a lessons learned or where you've been, where you're going type of thing. And I just kind of see this as a whole like, okay, you had to kind of walk away from old patterns, old thought processes because you would lay on weak foundations too frequently, being really excited, really passionate, and you may be hyper focused on like little good things that they did for you, but you're like, okay, is that really practical? Is that really, or you may be focused on how you feel about somebody, like all the passion and everything, but it's like, okay, but what are they doing? Are they reliable? Can I count on them? Like, if I needed them, would they be there? Type of energy. And I think you're kind of stepping back and being like, or you step back and been like, okay, like, this was fun and I've enjoyed this, but am I happy? Where do I go to be happy right now? Because I want to see these situations like, are these situations something I can celebrate in? Like, am I getting into these situations just because like, oh, hopeless romantic tendencies, like just because I want to, like, am I letting my emotions rule me, or am I letting someone else love bomb me and I just get lost in the moment type of thing, or do I don't want to say love bomb in the sense of like narcissism, but like how like that initial lust or attraction to somebody, you can just kind of get lost in the moment and really maybe you see too much of the good in them, and then there may be good intentions at first, but maybe you just kind of went over the top and didn't really take a grounded approach to it, and now you're kind of just like, okay, I do like you, but I'm going to be a little more calm about this and not let my emotions rule my decisions. Like, I'm still watching you. I may invest in you. I may take time, but I'm not going to just like give you my whole heart before I like know what's going on in this situation, basically. I think you've really grown from this, trying to take like a balanced approach here and not letting yourself completely just be like, okay, I'm not going to be passionate anymore. Like that would be a little over the top. It's just kind of like, okay, I need to reel it in a little bit when I'm feeling like this and think, okay, is this good for me? Like, can I count on them? Are they reliable? That type of thing, and not getting so lost and hyper focused in the moment whenever you're really overrun with those feelings. So I'm just like, I'll say signs because I don't know, maybe you learn these lessons being in a relationship with someone with these signs or had them in your chart or in their chart. I don't know that the signs are as important in this type of reading, but I'm going to throw it out there just in case it was like, this is who really woke you up when you went through a relationship with them. We actually have two Leo cards here, so maybe a Leo. Virgo's here, Cancer, Libra, Scorpio, and Pisces are all here. Also have like a general earth sign card, but yeah, so let's go ahead and get some advice for you. So basically, I think the advice is basically just talking about things that you're already doing, but you want this long term investment. You want this long term relationship potentially. You want something that is sustainable, that will work out. Um, and so when you want that, you took the approach of the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands, which we talked about, and like the previous part. The Knight of Pentacles came up in this one. Still very focused because they're a knight, focused on their goals and everything, but the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight. They make sure the foundation is actually laid out correctly. So I I think this is just okay, yeah, you're doing good if that's what you were doing. It seems like that's where your goal was. Yes, you're moving in the right direction if you needed to hear that. If you just needed that validation, like, yes, take your time, inspect it, make sure it's um, going good. And I just feel like I need to hear, like, I just need to say, because I'm kind of hearing, oh, so that means I don't have to commit. And that's not exactly what I'm saying here. Because I don't know if Gemini's like being like, oh, or what, but it's just kind of like, okay, you want to offer, all this love to them. You want to offer that. This relationship, you could be seeing it as a blessing. You could have a little bit of that hopeless romantic in you. You may not want to admit it, but you may have a little bit of that. But I see this as like the direction you go depends on you a little bit with that Wheel of Fortune. We have the King of Swords here, and we have the Nine of Swords. So what approach are you going to take? Are you going to talk about it? Are you going to communicate? Are you going to talk about the things that potentially are bothering you? Are you going to get it out there and just come to a understanding of what the solution is? Or are you going to let it keep you up at night? Are you going to become restless and antsy and maybe try to come to a conclusion by yourself, which may or may not be correct, and just let your anxiety get the best of you? I think it would be better to just have the communication and understanding and hear it straight from their mouth. And funny enough, the King of Swords is actually a Gemini card. So it's like, just talk to them, you know, just talk to them. So we're going to go ahead and get into the Gemini side. I've been saying signs throughout this whole thing. There's earth signs in general, there's water signs in general, but there's specifically Taurus, like I said, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces. I don't know if you wanted to see the cards, but here's the Ace of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the King of Swords, the Nine of Swords, because these ones are, even showing them on here with the sun out, like it's hard with them being all golden and stuff. But and that one was the Wheel of Fortune. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the Gemini side. So Gemini, kind of like the advice at the end with Aries, I think you need to talk about some stuff just because, like, I'm shuffling. First three cards that pop out, we have the High Priestess, the Nine of Swords, and the Page of Swords. So I feel like you're just kind of like, you haven't said anything, but I know what you did. Like, and you're like, my intuition is right. I'm always right, and I know. But with that Nine of Swords, okay, that Nine of Swords, with that High Priestess, I cannot say that you haven't had good intuition, good intuitive hits in the past. I can't say that. So, like, that may be a normal thing for you, but with that Nine of Swords, are you keeping yourself up at night creating some scenarios? Is this in your head a little bit? Like, I think a little bit of this you may need to talk about this a little bit, because with the Nine of Swords, there's a little bit of a, are you grounded right now? Are you grounded? Is this intuition or is this anxiety basically making up the scenario? Like, are you actually right? Did it actually happen? Or is your worries getting the best of you? So this may be something kind of like in the Aries side where I said, because they have the Nine of Swords as well, where it's like, okay, do we want to talk about it, or do you want to just kind of let this stuff eat you up? And that's really what I'm feeling here. And you're not really wanting to talk about it because you've already settled on, I already know. I already know. Like, you're really stubborn on that point of, oh, I already know. So let's draw some more cards. I think I already stepped into the advice portion of this, but it's just kind of like encouraging you to be a conversationalist and understand things, not let your emotions get the best of you, and kind of coming from that anxiety and kind of, but having these emotional conversations where maybe your feelings got hurt, and being kind of like when I started this with that nonviolent behavior, like maybe you need to have those, hey, when you did this, that kind of hurt my feelings or made me feel a certain way. And because Aries may be oblivious to that, just to be honest, like maybe they didn't mean to, maybe they didn't realize they would, and that could just be something that would be fixed in the future. It just, there's kind of this whole, like, you're used to just making up your own mind, like having to try to make up your own mind, and then other people can follow your direction or get left behind type of energy. And it kind of feels like you should try to get away from that, because that may be like a defense mechanism that has made you feel safe in the past, but you're trying to become a better version of yourself right now, and you're wanting better relationships, and that may end up being something that was a little detrimental to your relationships in the past, that's a little hard to get away from, because like I said, it's what made you feel safe and what made you feel comfortable. And it's like, it's not necessarily saying, okay, let other people make decisions for you. It's just like consider the feelings of other people without letting emotions overrun yourself. Consider other people's perspectives. Like, now it's funny that you both got the King of Swords in your advice, which is a Gemini card. These conversations need to be had. Have the conversation about what's actually happening, the truth. Don't make accusations or anything coming from that Nine of Swords. And Aries, if you're still listening, that applies to you too. I don't know that I said don't make the accusations, because that is part of that nonviolent behavior thing I said. And I know I keep spitting that one out, but I feel like it's helpful, and I'm trying to help. So it's just like, okay, you want to create this, but there's this sense of needing to not let your ego get in the way and um, compromise. That's the word I'm looking for. Compromise and come to an understanding and reach clarity of each other's position, of each other's emotional state, of each other's needs, um, in this reading. And, it's kind of funny because I think in the energy in between, you guys have the King and Queen of Cups. You have the King and Queen of um, Earth or Pentacles. Now you have the King and Queen of Swords and this energy here. So just a lot of King and Queen energy. So I do feel like you guys are wanting to elevate this. It just needs a little bit of self-reflection and understanding yourself. Like I said, Gemini, I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm not trying to put things on you. It's just the self-preservation thing may be more detrimental to relationships than you realize, and there's kind of this need for compromise more than like, okay, my way or the highway, follow me. Um, Compromise, but not letting yourself get ran over. It's kind of a balance. So just because I've been throwing signs out there throughout this entire reading, I'll throw signs out there, but I don't think it's very relevant in this advice portion or in a reading where it's like relationship things. I mean, you guys could have it in your chart. I don't know. But Capricorn, Cancer, Sagittarius came up twice, Libra, Gemini, and Pisces are all on the table right now. So hopefully this reading helped you guys. It really just sounds like you guys have something that you're enjoying. The energy felt good between you two. You guys just need to work on communication, basically. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and you guys have a great day.